the GOP has been clear in its efforts to clamp down on immigration. They are very anti-immigration, and it's been clear that they've not only attacked undocumented immigrants, but also legal forms of immigration here in the United States. But there is one exception. Paul Ryan is actually fighting to increase immigration from a very specific place. A bill pushed by Ryan, whose family fled famine-ravaged Ireland in 1851, could provide Irish nationals with thousands of additional US work visas each year. So at first, there were some Republicans who were holding off on this. They thought maybe this isn't a good idea. And now it appears there is one Republican in Senate who's kind of trying to block this legislation. However, the legislation did clear the House on an uncontested voice vote and is increasingly likely to clear the Senate next week. The bill would give the Irish access to unused E3 visas. In return, Ireland would offer additional work visas to Americans, among other concessions. What do those other concessions include? Well, the ability for Americans to retire in Ireland.
Well, they might have to do that in order to get health care. Among other things, because there's the social safety net in Ireland is better than here. So now let's talk about whether we should be in favor of this law or not. Is the law by itself problematic? No. So if the Irish get more E3 visas and there's more immigrants to this country from Ireland, God bless, that's wonderful. Would I have voted no? Yes, I would have voted no. And I would have blocked the voice vote. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not fair. Why do only Irish people get to come here on an E3 visa? Why is it specific to that one country? Meanwhile, Paul Ryan is trying his hardest to make sure all other immigrants are blocked. That if you're a Latino, he's going to try to block you. If you're a Muslim, he's going to try to block you. But all of a sudden, because he's Irish, and he says, oh no, I only want the Irish in. No way. That's a hard pass. And so it's super disappointing that it was a voice vote in the House. And apparently Democrats don't object. There's one Republican senator blocking this in the Senate. No, they should all block it. No, hell no. Why would we only give it to Ireland? That's borderline racist.
Borderline racist.
Yeah.
Borderline racist. No. Come on.
I know, I don't know why I'm being so polite on that one. Look, if you said, look, pick any one country. But the reason why it seems so unobjectionable to Congress is they're like, well, who could object to the Irish? The Irish are great. Oh, you want to object to Muslims? Of course we object to them. And that's a perfectly legitimate thing to object to. You want to object to Latinos? Of course, that's a debate. It's a debate. Do we want Latinos? It's a debate. And so far we're voting no, but it's a debate. Irish, well, they're perfectly white and lovely. And so everybody come on in. I want white people to come. I want Asians to come. I want Latinos, Muslims, everybody. And I want it to be fair. Now, you ready for the crazy twist in the story? Our ironic ally here, and I hate to even say it, is Breitbart, of all people. Okay, they say, well, this is amnesty for Irish lobbies. That's true. It is a weird exception, and you have to actually give them credit for
being consistent.
Yeah, for being consistent on that, instead of going like all this scum, et cetera, you could fill in that adjective. Republican politicians who are like, no to all the other races, yes to Ireland. Okay, top of the morning to you. At least Breitbart's saying no to all of the above. Okay, so a very rare credit to them on that. But we call it like it is. And Paul Ryan has this moving story. Well, he says, well, my family fled famine-ravaged Ireland in 1851. What the hell do you think the Latinos are fleeing? They're fleeing poverty and violence, just like your ancestors did.
But politicians like Paul Ryan don't see immigrants from Central American countries, from Mexico, they don't see them as humans. I mean, they've proven that time and time again. So he'll make the case for Irish people who might be dealing with economic issues. In the case of his family in the 1800s, famine was one of the reasons why they came here to the United States. They were people. But when it comes to Central Americans, when it comes to Guatemalans, Hondurans, people from El Salvador, no, they're not considered people by Republicans like Paul Ryan.
Last couple of things here. This is why the mainstream media sometimes drives me crazy. Because Paul Ryan, they say he's a policy wonk and he's so smart, and they give him they heap praise on top of praise for him. No, he's a giant hypocrite who loves to burn bridges after he crosses them. You know that his father died and he was able to go to school based on Social Security payments to his family. And then right after he crossed that bridge, he gets into Congress and decides that he's gonna light that bridge on fire and says now the tax cuts for the rich should be paid for through entitlement reform, which means cutting Social Security. He's such a bastard. And then he turns around and spits in Latinos' faces and all other immigrants' faces, goes, yeah, but I'm Irish, so I'm gonna give the Irish special privileges. That doesn't make you a good person. That makes you a gigantic hypocrite that once again, after your family crossed the bridge, you burn it down for everyone else. And finally, at least I'll give him a little points for honesty here, because he brazenly then said, well, at some point in my career, I'd like to be ambassador to Ireland. Oh, great, corruption sprinkled on top.
Right.
Because I'd like a nice position to Ireland later, I'm gonna make this special exception that makes no sense at all, except for the fact that apparently no one objects to racism in Washington. The TYT Plus app is now available on iOS and Android. Download to get more TYT content at tyt.com/app.